Hey, I want to talk for a minute about magic um, and how it relates to the real world for me in my head. Um, Maybe it will be helpful for you. I don't know. Um, Arthur Clarke said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Lev Grossman wrote a book series called The Magicians, and in this book, kids college age go to a magical college, and they learn magic, and of course, it's all an allegory. And the dean of this school, when they graduate, he shares his theory on why they are able to do magic. He says, you may believe that you're able to do this because you are brave, or because you are brilliant, or because you're kind, you're pure of heart. And those things may be true of you. But I have another theory I'd like to share. I believe that you can do magic because you're miserable. Because you feel the difference between what the world is and what you know it could be. And that hurts. And so those of us who contend with extraordinary suffering require an extraordinary counterbalance. And, I have been my entire life looking around at the world thinking, this is the way things are done? Why not this way, this way, this way, and this way? Doesn't it bother you? But people just look at me like I'm crazy. Maybe I am. But if you ask me if I believe in magic, I'll tell you what Arthur Clarke said, and then I'll ask you a question. What if you had a little robot that was like maybe the size of a fly? Maybe it's just like a fly, except it has no wings. So it wanders around the forest until it finds just the perfect 2 leaves. And then it uses them to fly around and pollinate, doing the duties of a bee. Would that qualify as sufficiently advanced for you to update your belief? For you to believe. I'm such a dork. Cellular biomimetics with big black rolling organelles that aerosolize silt could float along the coast of North Africa and deliver Mediterranean-enriched Nile waters to the Qattara Depression, greening the Sahara without annihilating the Amazon. We produce a lot of cardboard and plastic. Mushrooms can eat both of those things. Mycelium, the body of the fungus, is symbiotic with trees and crops. That's food and medicine. So what I'm doing this year is I am trying to assemble cardboard and plastic into forms that can be clicked together kind of like Legos, but better. And there will be chambers that link up, and as a result, the trees that sprout out of each block will wind their way through every block, creating a functional living structure that grows food and medicine on the outside, mushrooms on the inside, and low-light plants. These will require fountains that we will probably make by, wrapping a chain around a plant or a tree that has spiked its roots deep, deep down to the aquifer, and maybe pouring some sort of something around its roots to sticky up the, surrounding soil, and then sort of drive a truck around in a circle, just yanking that thing around, just until we've created a cavity around the entire root system and can yank the whole thing out and pour in a foaming material that dries and forms this enormous capillary structure that, like a newspaper with the corner left in your coffee, becomes entirely soggy. And what we do is we repeatedly wring out the top of it, and this fills tanks, so it's a well. But you can also plug capillary lines, more absorbent material, in a sort of cable, a giant, really thick one. You can plug in your house or your igloo, your garden dome, whatever it is that you're making with living architecture that you need it to be supplied with water just as fast as it's drinking it or evaporating, then that's how to do it. So I have a few YouTube channels, at Grow Buildings, at Living Fountain Co., at Mycoblocks, at Grow Bricks, at Lay Grow Bricks. Not technically copyright infringement. Right? So, let's see. Paintballs could be, more interesting projectiles than, I feel like we've got 3 spells from Harry Potter. We have trank darts and Avada Kedavra. We've got the killing curse. We have lead piercing rounds. Why do we have those? I'm such a nerd. Okay. Why do we only have pretty much 3 kinds of projectiles? We've got the kind that puts a hole in you. We've got the kind that poisons you. Maybe you fall asleep. And we've got the kind that electrocutes you, at least as long as the person is holding the trigger, like a psychopath. That bothers me. Paintballs how many spherical objects could you think of that, when thrown at high velocity, will do something interesting, right? What about, I've said graffiti lichens, a hanging garden line that roots itself to the wall in the ground and grows, expands, and birds land on it, and trees grow and raise it up, and it becomes this hanging architectural form, a hanging garden that's, never mind. Or just drones that trail a ribbon, a reflective, lightweight ribbon that's really long, and so everywhere the drone goes, the ribbon follows in a bizarre pattern. You tie a knot, almost. Lichen graffiti would be very cool. If you've got a round that is an A, and you have another one that's a B, and another one that's a C, or you've got a continuous stream, and you have several pen tips sort of things for it, and this is your graffiti toolkit. It's all in one gun, and it fires lichens of different colors, so different symbiotic relationships between different kinds of lichen and algae. And a growing medium and nutrition for it, so it hits the wall in this pattern, or you do some kind of artwork with it, and then it changes as it grows over time. There are so many pretty things you could do. Other than piercing rounds. I don't even want to get into, never mind. What about a shotgun shell or a 50 caliber round full of tiny little pancaked drones so when you fire it, they all fly out in different directions, and each of them targets a lethal weapon. And destroys it. So that you walk onto the battlefield and fire what people think is a warning shot directly into the air. And every gun breaks within like a 50-yard radius. That's such dangerous technology. Nobody wants to pursue that publicly because, that's just like so easily retooled to pop somebody's heart, to pop like 50 hearts at once. That's bad. With intelligent technology, I keep saying this, machine colonization of the earth, this kind of depends. If we're going to do this safely, it depends on prerequisites for survival and reproduction, replication of these machines, these design types and these concepts, so that if anything is ever problematic, it never happens again like that. I know I'm being vague, but that's because so many systems are possible here. I don't